responding to data showing a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes across the city. Andrade accuses the mayor's team of trying to micromanage and dilute the report. Andrade goes on to accuse the mayor's leadership team of spreading, quote, lies and falsehoods about her. The conduct of you both in these two meetings is egregious, shameful, disturbing, hostile, bullying, utterly unethical and unprofessional.
So we're back talking about Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, a man who is currently polling at historic lows, who has lost control of his own city council, and who just fired their own deputy mayor for public safety. Just had a former commissioner blow the doors off his administration with one single email.
The letter goes on to claim threats of a quid pro quo, alleging that she had to go along with a diluted report or else lose her job. Andrade accuses Chief of Staff Pacione Zayas of a smear campaign.
Nancy Andrade, the former Human Relations Commissioner for the City of Chicago, sent a scathing internal email 2 weeks before she resigned, and thanks to the Freedom of Information Act request, we have it. And what's in this email? It's bad. It's really bad. We're going to break it all down. But first, if you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. It helps this channel immensely. We appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's get into it. So here's what happened. On March 12th, Andrade sent an email directly to the mayor's chief of staff by the name of Christina Pacione Zayas and the chief equity officer, Carla Cooper. The subject, setting the record straight.
Human Rights Commissioner Nancy Andrade resigned from her post last month amid a spat over a report on anti-Semitism that she was working on. At the time,
in the first paragraph, Andrade says she wants to, quote, set the record straight against a, quote, skewed narrative and false allegations against me. The complaints center around a report on anti-Semitism that Andrade was leading, responding to data showing a rise in anti-Semitic hate crimes across the city. Andrade accuses the mayor's team of trying to micromanage and dilute the report.
Her office put together a report that centered Jewish lives because that's what the data was about. Anti-Jewish hate crimes were spiking in the area. But according to Andrade, the mayor's team did not like the framing. She alleges they tried to micromanage and dilute the report. She says they pushed to strip out references to Jewish lives and reframe the whole thing into a all lives matter document, which is kind of hilarious coming from the mayor, Brandon Johnson. Think about it. The chief equity officer, whose entire job is supposed to be about equity, allegedly pushed to water down a report about a certain community being targeted with hate crimes. That's not really equity. That's basically erasing the situation. But it gets worse. Andrade says that they blocked her department from live streaming a public hearing on anti-Jewish hate crimes, despite requests from the public and from Andrade herself. They also allegedly prevented additional Jewish victims from testifying. And then came the threats.
And then she said they attempted a quid pro quo. In essence, go along with our program or fear for your job. And we uncovered a lengthy email she sent to the mayor's team to, quote, set the record straight. And she lodged several accusations alleging their conduct with her was, quote, egregious, shameful, disturbing, hostile, bullying, utterly unethical and unprofessional.
That's all the heavy words right there. She obviously was not in favor of the mayor's leadership team. Now here's where this connects to a much bigger pattern, because Nancy is not the first person to say this about Brandon Johnson's inner circle. Just days before Andrade resigned, we talked about this in a video a couple of weeks ago, the mayor fired his deputy mayor for public safety, Garien Gatewood, and his top deputy, Manny Whitfield. Both of them said similar things, that they felt they had a target on their back for pushing back on anything. Gatewood said that he never even spoken to the mayor directly. He was called into the room by the chief of staff, Pacione Zayas, and the senior advisor, Jason Lee. The same Jason Lee that the city's own inspector general recommended to be fired for refusing to cooperate with the misconduct investigation and told the administration that they were moving in a different direction. And Gatewood filed a formal complaint with the inspector general, accusing Pacione Zayas and Lee of improper interference in the city's contracting process. He gets fired weeks later by the same people he filed a complaint against. Manny Whitfield said that he was planning to put one of the mayor's allies on a performance improvement plan the day that he got fired. He told reporters, as somebody that was in close proximity to senior leadership, I became a threat. Before that, the communication director was fired, the comptroller left, the chief strategy officer left, the OEMC executive director left, the COPA chief left, and the outgoing inspector general, Deborah Witzberg, who clashed with the administration repeatedly, said that Johnson's office is reflectively hostile council to oversight. The Better Government Association president puts it perfectly. This isn't a revolving door. It's an exit door.
The pattern that we're seeing here is actually one that's very disturbing. It's saying anybody who challenges us, who calls out corruption, who calls out harassment, or any forms of governing that are unethical, they're immediately shown the door, they're forced out. And to credit of many of the commissioners or staff that have been here, they left voluntarily so that they didn't get caught up in these other actions that the administration was going to take.
In terms of these allegations coming from Andrade about, quid pro quos and hostile behavior from the mayor's office, what is your reaction to this?
What we've learned, Tia, is we're getting a glimpse of a very harsh work environment within City Hall. We have a responsibility to deliver service in an impartial, fair, and astounding manner. And clearly, the Johnson administration is missing that mark. Jewish hatred is up 58%, and Mayor Johnson's team, particularly his chief of staff and the chief equity officer, said, we're not going to mention that. We're going to remove nearly 30 mentions of the word Jewish or Jewish references from a report. We're going to whitewash it, and we're going to say that people who've only been impacted by 1 or 2 incidences are going to matter just as much as someone who's being specifically targeted here in the city of Chicago. That's not how you work together. That's not how you address any kind of problem in the city of Chicago, let alone one so dangerous as this.
So let's put a number on how badly this mayor is just losing, because it's not just the people around him, it's the people of Chicago. They may lose the Chicago Bears.
The governor, Mike Braun, joins us now. Governor, it's great to see you. I never thought in my life I'd be talking to the governor of Indiana about the Chicago Bears moving to Indiana. J.B. Pritzker had some strong words about Indiana there in the clip that we showed. Nobody wants to go to Indiana. They don't take care of their workers and they don't provide health care. I wonder if you'd like to respond to that governor next door about what's going on with the Bears right now.
That sounds like somebody that believes in big government and is kind of floundering from what they used to have as a state and a city that probably was run a lot better. And when you look at the simple fact that our GDP growth is twice that of Illinois, and the number of people that have been moving in, its biggest population influx from the Chicago area. When you double down on heavy regulations, high taxes, people will vote with their feet eventually.
So let's zoom out. What do we have here? We have a mayor whose approval rating is in the toilet. We have a city council that rejected his budget and passed their own. We have a shadow mayor in Jason Lee, a senior advisor who doesn't even vote in Illinois, who was recommended to get fired by the inspector general and who the mayor refuses to fire. We also have a chief of staff and a chief equity officer accused by multiple former officials of bullying, retaliation, and hostile work environments. We also have a Chicago Housing Authority standoff. We have a revolving door of departures that looks less like a normal turnover and more like a purge of anyone who doesn't fall in line with Mayor Brandon Johnson. And what's the mayor's response to all this? Denial, denial, denial every single time. There's no quid pro quo happening. There's no hostile work environments. There's no retaliation. There's nothing to see here. But the receipts and the patterns just keep piling up. And the people who are in the room keep talking. And the voters of Chicago are making their feelings very clear. This man should not be reelected at all. At this point, he probably shouldn't be reelected in the first place. But hey, you didn't know how bad it was going to be until it happens. And unfortunately, you get what you vote for. When you see this many people leaving the administration saying negative things, and they're saying the same thing on the way out, it's not a coincidence, it's a pattern. And patterns, unfortunately, in this situation, they don't lie. Brandon Johnson is a god-awful mayor. The Chicago Bears may leave Chicago. They may leave that area and go to Indiana or anywhere else. Now, would you blame Brandon Johnson? I mean, if things were better, a more competent person was there, maybe this wouldn't be happening. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comments below. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.